And then look at it. Look at the nose of the recreation of Tut. Okay? It looked more like her son. Look at her nose and his chin and how her chin and, got that, that European mold where we had the prognathes jaw. I will show you that. That looks just like her. I got some shocking facts that's about to come out. This is psychological manipulation to leave you defenseless against an obvious racist, so-called scholar bent on destroying all evidence of ancient African greatness. Okay? Now, let me go out of here. Look at this. This is in Babylonia. Okay? I went to the London Museum, okay, to see some of the artifacts that came up out of that area. You can clearly see that on the wall they have woolly hair. Now look at the white woman pulled up there. Say, look at the woolly hair. It's clear that the ancient Babylonians were black. I wonder why my lion-ass daddy told me they was white. You can clearly look at her hair and look at the Babylonians' hair and see that these are two different races. European, the only race that produces coily, woolly hair is the African race. That's facts. That's facts. Here again, I am so glad that this Arab had enough nerve to stand next to these Babylonians, African Babylonians, to prove that these are two different races and that the people that are in Iraq, Iran, Arabia are invaders. They are not the indigenous African population that was there in the ancient world. So this is true racist history, theft of people, African people's history, and we are here today to reclaim our history, okay? We are the original people of Africa, and we are the first people to go into Asia and colonize and populate Asia, okay? We're looking at the real Tutankhamun, okay? You can see very clearly from the mass, you understand what I'm saying? That you are looking in the face of an African man. From his lips, to his chin, to his nose. I'm going to get off into the facts. You can see the rich melanin in his skin. You see the elongated head, which is a process. See, the Africans will stretch the skull, okay? They will stretch the skull. They will wrap, some type of wrappings around the head when they're a baby, and it stays on there tightly until it forms into that type of elongated head. So that's a process right there. And show the deep, rich melanin in their skin, okay? Now, if they wanted the image you can see white under it. They would have left it white if they intended for the world to believe that they were white people, and this is just not so, okay? People usually use materials as close to their real characteristics as possible. So you see the wood, the brown wood that the Greeks, what do the Greeks use? They use marble most of the time. Why? Because they're white, okay? So the Africans use melanated material that was as close to their real characteristics as possible. And so you can see right to the right, which is one of the daughters of Akasanami, okay? If I'm not mistaken, one of his daughters, okay? And you can see very clearly that there's a commonality, that they have the same color, both have an elongated head, which means that they were basically from the same tribe and had the same tribal characteristics, okay? They were from the same tribe or same nation, same people. There's a commonality between all of the statues, okay? Now, this particular recreation was done of King Tut in 2002 by Discovery Channel. See, we're using even materials by white people. But see, they were mad at that. Discovery Channel shouldn't have done that. they made it look very, similar to what he actually looked like. They did the right thing. And that was wrong for them peoples at Discovery Channel. They didn't stay in line with white supremacy, which caused them to come out and recreate a white King Tut after the fact. Okay? This is right here is a facial reconstruction. They wasn't satisfied with that. But when you put the facial reconstruction from Discovery Channel next to King Tut, now that's an actual statue, small statue from ancient Egypt of King Tut, again, using wood, using a material very similar to the color of the people. Okay? They're not going to, use marble unless it's something very uniquely, it's a symbolism, but I've never seen that. Only very rarely did I see them use white material. Okay? For the most part, they use materials that had color in them. Now, if the one to the left is the original, now how in the hell did they get this? It was no need if you understand that they didn't know, the lips, okay, the nose, the eye color, why would they change from the original statue? Why would they? See, that's racist at its intent, because you're not using scientific fact at your basis. Okay? So what I'm using is science. What I'm using is historical fact and documentation. And that white woman, Elizabeth Danes, used racism at the root of why she created that fake recreation. But yet they won't take nothing down by white people. But if we put something up and it's disproving the fakery, they call us a racist. Again, if a robber comes into your house with a gun to rob you and you grab your gun and run him out, that don't make you a robber, okay? That makes you a liberator of your household. Let me keep it moving. To the left is also a recreation of Nefertiti, which is more close to how she looked. So when you look at Nefertiti and King Tut, these are more to the truth than anything these white people have created thus far. Let me keep it moving. You're looking at what they call the red ochre, okay, which is a paint that the Africans all over Africa use on their face. So when you look at much of even though they were brown, even though this man is brown or black, okay, they put the red because it's a symbolism of fertility, the sun, being a child of the sun, fertility and vigor and cosmic energy. That's what it represents, okay? And so when you see it, that is very similar to the colors of the ancient Egyptians. This is showing you the cultural basis that these are African. You've never seen European people practice this type of a culture. Now, again, this is Nefertiti. We just warming up. We just warming up out there now. We just warming up. They always said that Akhenaten and Nefertiti banned all the worship of all the gods in ancient Egypt, and you can clearly see that Nefertiti got on the headdress of Amen, the god Amen, okay? That's his headdress. And you can see, and it's a reason why her head is slanted like that, because she has an elongated head. And you can see her lips are very thick. So it's no disputing that she was an African woman. So how the hell what did they use to create the fake one? They didn't use anything but their racist minds to create that. This is an original carving of the Empress Queen Nefertiti, the real okay? So we can establish for one thing for certainty, that no European is indigenous to any part of Africa. Okay, what did I put up here? See, I couldn't put up there the peeling European from the sun. I couldn't put the peeling European up there. because they're going to quick to take that down. But what we see from Nefertiti to the right, that she's a daughter of the sun. And you can see where the sun ray hit her right in her pineal gland. Okay? This is a daughter of the sun. She venerated the sun. No European woman, no white woman would venerate the sun in this manner. See, we're getting into culture. Because even in the Adam and Eve story, they were put out of the garden by what? The sun. You see her in shame because she did not have no melanin. That's why her hand, when you put your hand in your face like that, it symbolizes shame. And the reason why she was shamed, because she did not have no melanin. Let me keep it moving. Okay? So they always say, God put them out. God, but when you read off into the Bible, what does it say? That God is a sun and a shield. Okay? So the God that they're talking about is not a fictional man in the sky, but the S-U-N. It's the sun that put him out of the garden. Okay? So how could Nefertiti, so we talking about an African empress who lived in Egypt, one of the hottest countries on the planet, all her life, and remain this pale. Come on, talk to me. Talk to me. How could Nefertiti live in Egypt because she was not from continental Africa now. She was an Asian African. That must be stated. That she was not indigenous to Egypt. That was one of her faults, which caused the Africans to rebel against Akhenaten. Because for the first time in history, a non-continental woman was proclaimed the queen of all Egypt. And this had never been done before. And so this caused many of the Africans to rebel against them. Okay? And what sealed the deal is that they did start to close some of the major deities' temples in Egypt. They did not close them all, but many that they did, which caused them to rebel against Akhenaten and Nefertiti. And they just ceased to exist in history, which means in reality they removed them from power. They removed them from, but it still does not take away from the fact that she was an African woman.